Yo, what's going on YouTube? Colt here, back again, and today I want to talk about ESWC and where I think OpTic goes from ESWC, because OpTic has been looking, let's just first start off with talking about ESWC. So ESWC, I'm pretty sure you guys all know OpTic won the event. OpTic won ESWC. Crim's won every ESWC to ever exist. He's won 5 in a row. OpTic has won 3 in a row. Karma has won specifically two because the first one in AW they actually played with Enable instead of Karma because he couldn't go to ESWC. So Crim's won 5 ESWCs in a row. OpTic as the org has won 3 in a row. Karma has won 2, if that makes sense. So yeah, OpTic has proven their dominance yet again. They finally got back on their top in the first place finishing and they're looking really good right now, actually. They're looking like the OpTic that is the best team in the game, like in Black Ops 3, like in AW. Like, all throughout AW, everyone knew OpTic was the best. No one was touching them, beginning to midway through BO3, no one was touching OpTic either. And then towards the end, OpTic's slump kind of started towards, the end of BO3, when the MV roster, the COD Champs MV roster formed, right? So in my personal opinion, there's a person plus 2 teams or 2 orgs that OpTic just kind of got into a mental slump in my personal opinion, and that is either when they play Aches, when they play Aches at COD Champs, they usually end up choking against them. Aches is single-handedly the reason why they got 7th 2 years in a row. So yeah. And then the 2 orgs that they got into a mental slump in is Envy and FaZe. You guys knew before Atlanta that they haven't beaten FaZe on LAN in 2 years. They haven't beat the FaZe organization on LAN in 2 years with the Clay roster, anyways, with Clay's roster that he has on FaZe. But and they also haven't beat Envy since Black Ops, an event before Chance, Black Ops 3, something like that. They haven't beat Envy in a very long time either before Atlanta. And so Atlanta to me was they basically, beating those 2 orgs got out of their mental slump or found themselves again by beating those 2 teams they were in a slump with. Because you guys know at Atlanta they played Envy in round 1 of the winners bracket and lost 3-1 and got sent to losers, right? And so when they got to losers, obviously they steamrolled everyone. I wouldn't say steamrolled, but they clutched up every game, made it to finals. But they had to play Envy and FaZe in losers bracket to make it to finals, right? So they first played FaZe, and they finally beat FaZe on LAN in Atlanta. Finally, the meme is over. That FaZe roster is not undefeated on LAN against OpTic anymore. So yeah. But obviously, because OpTic also beat FaZe twice at ESWC to win the tournament too. So yeah. But then what was it? They played FaZe, and then they played Luminosity, which they won as well, and then they beat Envy right after that. And so that to me is what turned around OpTic's totally mojo that they had, or their mental slump that they had, in my opinion. Atlanta just turned it all around, and now they're just looking pure dominant. I don't know if you guys know the actual statistics behind ESWC, but OpTic only lost 3 maps the whole event. The whole event. And nonetheless, they didn't drop a single map in championship bracket, period. So they 3-0'd every single person once they got to the bracket play. 3-0'd everybody. And they 3-0'd FaZe twice, because they 3-0'd FaZe in the winners bracket final, and then they 3-0'd FaZe again in grand finals. So yeah, OpTic right now is just looking back to where they were, to where no one can touch them. In my personal opinion, they just look unstoppable. So for the future, honestly, as of right now, as pro points stand, E United is still in first because ESWC didn't give as many pro points as Atlanta did for first place finish. So I think E United's in first place in terms of seeding by like what, like 10,000 to 8,000 pro points, somewhere around there, I think. So OpTic's not very close behind. If they win a 2K, they're back in first. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, OpTic is just looking back to where they're just pure dominant. They look like no one can touch them. So in terms of future events, in terms of the LAN League, it's looking really good for them. But which also could be very scary at the same time, because every time they've looked really, really, really good, they go to champs and just they just shit show champs for some reason. And I don't know why. But hopefully this year they can bring champs together and place better than 7th. Because, you know, that meme is still alive. But yeah, that's all I want to talk about today, is just how my personal opinion on like what happened with Atlanta, ESWC, and how OpTic just kind of turn their shit around, if that makes sense. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I will catch you in the next one. Peace.